I'll just go ahead and wear this for the duration of the video, just in service, and you know what, hey, it just is a moment of remembrance, because Timcast IRL, well, its schedule is not changing, and he's just going to be going to a morning show, but he is going to be shutting down Timcast and retiring from the channel, which become the house for Timcast. Did an AI write that, or is this one of those all your base are belong to us type situations? I think his beanie's on a little bit too tight. Mine is in fact just a little bit flumpy. And oh man, no, my hair's gone again. But you know what? Hey, I brought the prop up, okay, just in case you didn't catch it in the first video. But Tim, man of his word-ish, manlet of his word, whatever you want to call it, okay? He's going to be, my morning show is consolidating on youtube.com/TimcastNews. Great, just wait for Steven Crowder to show back up, and then you'll get dwarfed by him, and then you'll be back on, you know, the Timcast gimmick in the evening, which is probably the best spot for you. Again, you know, big ups to Tim for a multitude of things. Amazing work ethic, a fantastic aggregator of headlines and news. He just doesn't have the temperament of it. It's just kind of a through line from the previous video onto this one. Some people just aren't designed for fame, and then when it hits them square in the face, they don't know how to handle it. Like, he even slow burned, okay? He came from, I don't know what he did prior to being a journalist, but he's mostly just been writing for a very long time. Getting his start on Occupy Wall Street, that was back in 2014, right? And then being with Vice and Fusion, then spinning off on his own thing, and then just catapulting to the stars with his podcast, which was incredibly successful. Great time slot, you know, taking over from traditional news that nobody's watching. It was a perfect situation, but if you're not down with it and you don't have the temperament for it, you can just continue to spurg about, and you know what, most people, it's 3 strikes and you're out. So what ended up happening? Jack Murphy ended up fumbling that, Adam Krigler, you fumbled that, and then your terrible flip-floppy takes on Eliza Bleu ultimately sunk the ship. So gone but not forgotten, I guess. But now it seems like the entire Timcast brand is in a bit of a pickle, because they want to try to distance themselves from the whole Eliza debacle, which is, you know, maybe they should have just done, you know, the Jeremy from the quartering from, I brought it up in the first video. I thought that was a great way to address and then at the same time distance yourself from the situation. So if Tim was to do that at the beginning, well, he could have avoided this entire messed up situation, but he didn't. So because the pieces have fallen on the table as they may, now you got to kind of collect it. So his morning show, and what are you going to do about those atrocious articles that are on your website? You can't just delete them, because that would kind of look bad. So now you're just trying to rewrite history. You notice what's missing? You got Timcast News. You don't have any pictures of Eliza, because I guess that's also trafficking and her warped interpretation of that. Now you just have the Timcast banner that's on there. Okay, I got it up on part 3, but you can also go to part 1. Oh, same thing. Okay. And then you might notice an editor's note. And the first time, you should have had an editor go over this to begin with. The views expressed are solely those of the author and do not represent the position of Timcast News as a whole. Ooh, somebody's trying to do that de facto you stay over there approach. Don't know if that's going to work. Are there any pictures of Eliza in this one, or is she just completely gone? Because I remember there being 1 or 2, and I don't see any. Oh, no, oh, no, there she is. Okay, cool. I thought that they just completely scrubbed it. It's like, it's about EB. We'll just call her EB going forward. But that's not the only thing that's on here. Okay, so that's just because it's part 1, man, doesn't mean that part 2 can't have that same descriptor. And then, oh, no, part 1. Okay, part 2. But they don't have a link out to part 3. But that's all right. It's at least on the side right there. But it's very, very interesting, because yeah, this was supposed to be a very high profile piece. Like, this was such a super topic for them to discuss, somebody doing human trafficking, okay? But then when he started to realize that, ooh, her own story and what she's doing outside of a little bit of advocacy and pointing people, one person in particular, in the right direction, doesn't really make an entire career. And the only thing that you can really come up with is a right at the bottom on this boy right here. I don't even know what the comments are probably hilarious at this situation, but yeah, when you double down hard like this, yeah, you're gonna have to distance yourself pretty easily. If the death of my career looks like me standing up for a woman who I listen and believe to be a survivor of sex trafficking. This was supposed to be an expose on how she's helping advocates of sex trafficking, but then at the bottom of that well is, yo, why were people getting banned on Twitter and then also you issuing privacy strikes on YouTube? And if you're supposed to be this arbiter or avatar of good in the world, how do you reconcile that with censorship online? If you're purporting to be some sort of an advocate, why are you silencing dissenting opinions? You're supposed to be speaking out in support of free speech, not suppressing other people's free speech. How do you reconcile those points? No. She's endured years of abuse, and I listen and believe I'm going to die on this hill. This is death of career. And given the fact that there's an editor's note on that, kind of tends to lean that way. Oh well, sucks to suck. It's not like they've, walked anything else back. We covered this as well. You remember the little shadow box disclaimer that Timcast News directly addressed that with? Yeah, they deleted it because your boy was doing some investigation because I needed to clarify or just really tie a bow on the situation, because I think we're about done with this, folks. Everybody seems to be taking a break. I don't know if Tim's tweeted anything out today. Frankly, I don't really care. But at least his organization, Timcast News, is down. It's down one tweet because they got rid of that shadow box tweet. Okay, the one where it's, oh, there's a strategic plan. The gang stalkers. Oh, they're just all bought and paid for shills, bro. Really? If you were so convinced that this was a tenable position, why did you delete the tweet, bro? But I covered it in yesterday's extensive video. But yeah, I'm not going to forget about this because this is an issue that I care about deeply. Censorship in all forms is unforgivable. If you don't like somebody's opinion on something, you can push back against it. And if they don't want to change their position or you think they're wrong on something, yeah, man, you can question those. Or you don't have to listen. It's as easy as walking away, turning off the phone. That's fine, man. I don't give a shit about the Eliza Bleu history. The fact that she fabricated all of it, or at least, mixed up some details in order to make it more salacious, that shouldn't undercut from advocacy, okay? And advocating against human trafficking is a laudable cause. But all of that just seems to be a put on, just another grift at attention, because in her own words, I'm trying to get famous, and she was doing it through other means and methods, and she eventually arrived at something that no longer required her looks and sexuality, even though she tried to use that to climb the ladder, starting with Ian. This is what happens, man. Women who get attention off of their looks and never develop any other tangible commodities later in life. And guess what? Father Time is undefeated. And this is what ends up happening to them on a long enough time frame. It sucks to suck, but you also don't have to lash out like a 5-year-old. But yeah, once again, and to compare and contrast that and shout the guy out one more time, because I think he does excellent work and he has for a long time on a multitude of different topics that I also take very seriously. The whole Tug keeping the Amber Heard Johnny Depp situation alive and well from its gestation all the way through, and him finally getting his flowers at the trial itself, is a laudable endeavor. So him taking up this cause right now, hey man, there's nobody better who could be on the case, because he seems to have morals and values. Don't know him personally. I've had an interaction or two with him, commented on a video, and thankful for that. It was really shocking to see something good come across my YouTube alerts, because normally it's just content strikes or anything like that. But oh no, a verified account left a comment on your channel. What? No, wait, no, it's not supposed to happen like that. But yeah, I've been shouting him out well before that, so don't think that this is any kind of a, a suck-up situation. I just think he does good work, man. And like he says here, Timcast's site is also being used to push the PSYOP narrative. Yeah, who's gang stalker? You gang stalker? We gang stalker? Everybody gang stalker. Narrative for Eliza Bleu. She's sharing it too. FFS. What else? What else has to happen before people realize that I'm sorry? Shit is talking out of both sides of their mouth. Yep, exactly. Because Timcast just wants to make it all about, oh, they're just brigading Eliza, and she's a low interest celebrity. And it's like there's actually something at the bottom of this well, because you've expressed the interest and you think that it's an important topic at the bottom there. If you just would look at, no, oh, okay, cool. You just want to call us all bigots in different forms. Great, wonderful, fantastic. But I realized after I was chopping up the video yesterday that I told you I was going to define two different words, and I think I got around to the first one, but I'll clarify that. But I definitely didn't get around to the second one. It brings me to this tweet, and we covered it after, after her monumental breakdown ended up happening after Tim started to distance himself, and that was probably even before the editor's note got plastered all over her 3-piece docu-series that just ended up into, okay, Shane Cashman just saying, I believe her, and nobody else does, and that anybody criticizing her is basically Hitler. And it's like, yeah, that's wonderful, fantastic. You stay over there, my guy. But after all else fails for calling on a simp army, come on, man. Grifters and simps. Those two terms are thrown around so much in popular media, popular culture, social media, anything that you want to. And I think that they're both two ill-defined terms. What kind of value in the world does Eliza Bleu put out there? Outside of comedic value, of course. But even before all this stuff, before all of her censorship stuff started to pop off, what kind of value does she put out into the world? What would give her authority to call on brave men to stand up for her right now? Why is she calling specifically for brave men? Because she's a reasonably attractive woman, because she knows she has an untenable position, but if she has brave men, strong kings out there that can back up her nonsense, she's looking to pivot. This is the way that I see this right now. She's trying to raise a simp army. And what exactly is a simp? A man, and more often than man, but you can kind of use this for either sexes, but it's mostly afforded and applied to men. Simp is somebody who gives their time, attention, and resources to somebody, normally a woman, who is not reciprocating value. It's an inequitable exchange in value. She is rallying brave men to stand up for her right now. What is she trying to do, in my opinion? Well, she's 41 or something like that. Self-avowed. I don't really know if I can take her opinion on how old she is. Born in 81, so 42 sometime this year. Sometime this year she'll be 42. She's trying to rally the simp army in order to pick the best suitor out of the lot, transition over, because I'd imagine, I don't really know if she's posted anything. Has she posted anything in the past? Because it was 19 hours ago now. Okay, so yeah, she's just, wine mom posting, be happy, fall in love. What she's going to do, probably something that she should have done a while ago, take an extended period. I need to take an extended break off of social media to really focus on all the good work that I'm doing, and then she'll come back on social media with a ring, and oh my god, now I can just go home and I can be the trad wife that's out there, and then have that built in, oh my god, I was canceled by the right narrative, and then just flip back over to the left, because the grift never stops. And what is a grifter? Might have defined this yesterday, but just for clarification's sake, somebody who doesn't offer any value in a topic or a subject that they discuss. Somebody who callously, somebody who unquestioningly covers a topic for the expressed purpose of them and themselves only. It would be like if I was talking about, I don't know, the Kardashians. If I started to just be a reality TV show channel, I just started to do, I don't know, music reaction videos where I was just in the corner going, yeah, I like this song. All right, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And make sure to tune in for the next reaction. I'm Don, and I'll catch you on the next one. If I started to do that, that would be inauthentic. That would be a grift. So yeah, people on the internet that monetize their content, people that do long live streams, long form content even, and they have super chats on, they take ad revenue from certain topics that they discuss, they actually provide substance underneath of that. People will call them grifters. They might even self-describe themselves as grifters. But that's not grifting. Grift has been thrown around so much over the past, she wanted to say 3 weeks, in on and around that area. There were legitimately people that were disappropriately, that's not a word, inappropriately targeted by Eliza Bleu and were censored for their legal and lawful use of content online. Hell, she even admitted it. Okay, yeah, she wants a victim post, and it's like, oh my god, one of my consensual, non-abusive boyfriends, he's a good man that's out there. Or there's the rumor that I received a free Tesla, and here's a picture that is no longer on the Timcast website. But I didn't get a free I didn't get a free Tesla. Elon Musk is the good man, and all that, dog crap stuff. Oh, she actually got a simp out there? I know Eliza personally, and I was pretty appalled to see some of these random theories with no evidence get spread in the past couple of weeks. People claiming she got a Tesla somehow from knowing low frickin' L. What? Photo they're using as evidence was from a Tesla event, like Get a Grip. Yeah, I've never heard that one before. I'm not saying that people aren't convinced that she was that she ended up getting on the blue-pilled alpha's attention that end up getting, some resources off of them. I think she probably has a, direct line to him and definitely has some sway over Twitter, but I don't remember anybody credible saying that, oh, she sucked her way to a free Tesla. I don't really think so, but apparently an account that follows as many people as follows them is worthy of a retweet, because he's one of the simps that's out there that she'll put onto the roster, scroll through her DMs, which I'm sure most of them are probably hate, which is absolutely stupid. Yo man, the only way that you quash these situations is deprive them of oxygen, because posting death threats or anything like that just gives them the ability to come forward with another victim story. And you know that they're not above posting that stuff. Tim did it, Cashman did it, Eliza does it, but she is making the switch now that, well, the ground is kind of moving underneath of her, because, now all of the stuff that she's doing is kind of getting fact-checked, which is hilarious, by the way. We read this, definitely covered it, not entirely sure when, though, the 10th, so was that a part of yesterday's stuff? Must have been. But yo, she got fact-checked on this. Today I've decided to change my story as a survivor. I'm a third-time survivor, a massive digital scale. It's called image-based sexual assault, and I thought that this was a joke, but she was being 100% sincere. And then she got fact-checked, so you know that her grift is up right now, so she's going to have to pivot. I'm looking forward to the, I'm getting married, a right was trying to cancel me, and nobody stood up for me, except for my king simp right now. I'm looking forward to that grift. Every individual who knowingly profited off this content without my consent has become my abuser in my story. And then the fact check reads, the recent events surrounding Eliza Bleu do not meet the definition of image-based sexual abuse. All the content was consensually recorded, publicly produced, and initially consensually distributed. Consent cannot be withdrawn from this type of media after the fact. Yo! Sucks to suck, I guess. But wait. There's more. Her partner in crime, Annie Donwald, the one who got sued for misappropriation of funds, I think. I could be wrong, allegedly. I'm not entirely sure, to be completely honest. But she was running a charity or some form of fashion like that. But I think they got another fact check there, because everybody around Eliza Bleu, just like Cashman, is hitching their wagon to a dead horse. The lying narrative people are using to discredit Eliza Bleu and myself have been a hate campaign to discredit and destroy. Maybe consider why we're targeted. Organized crime doesn't go away quietly in the night. Common sense isn't so common. May want to reconsider your stance. Likewise, Annie Donwald and her organization, Eve's Angels Incorporated, was sued by Donwald's parents for defamation. That's what she was sued for. Okay. This is not a lie, and the link shows the public court records. She was ordered to pay over $40,000 in restitution. The lying narrative, as purported by the liar themselves. Listen, man, none of these personal and character attacks needed to happen. All we wanted was answers when it comes to the censorship aspect. Why are you striking publicly available information? Who do you have connections to? Help! I'm being attacked! And then it takes them how long to come forward with the truth on this stuff? Oh, after your 15 minutes of fame is up. You waited until 14 minutes, 30 seconds. You fired that last shot, and guess what? It did the old hit on one side of the rim, then on the other, and then popped right out. So you're going to have to go away for a minute. But hey, maybe Tim's new morning show might need somebody to go fetch some coffees. 2 of them, black and with haste, baby. Hi. So I was just wrapping up recording for the day. I had a bunch of different things, and of course quite a long video there to edit up and all that stuff. And then I see this little bit of an update. Now you might recognize the screen from earlier in this specific video, but you're going to notice something completely devoid of it. They are so goddamn embarrassed by this article right here. This portion of the series is currently under review. They got rid of it, bro. They got rid of the entire gang stalker narrative, because guess what? It was totally made up. They got rid of the shadow box description, and now they scrubbed the entirety of the article. Oh, you'll love to see it. It's funny because, yep, nope, part 2 is still up here. Part 1. Even noticed that back when we did the original recording on this stuff, you could only link out to part 1 and part 2. There was never, ever a link to part 3. And then they also added this is a part 2 of a 3-part series. I don't recall that at all whatsoever. And yeah, the disclaimer here, the views expressed are solely those of the author and do not represent the position of Timcast News as a whole. And I went to go find any sort of information about this very, very strange Shane Cashman individual, and this dude is radio silent on all this stuff, so I'd imagine he's probably getting a fairly extensive ass chewing right now, and everyone is radio silent on over there. Holy. So yeah, just to go back to the original, I'm going to be consolidating on my morning show. Bro, you better be consolidating on your website, and you better check your kids because they seem to be going off the handle right now. So back to our regular scheduled outro, because as of right now, one domino has fallen. One domino has fallen. And I thought I was going to be done with this story, but these certainly are crazy times that we're living in now, aren't we? And so, with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Cotswell. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.